If philandering ever qualified for an award would certainly go to Gig Young's unfaithful husband Hal Henderson in Lovers and Other Strangers, 1970. Hal has been having an affair with his wife's best friend for 10 years. His wife, Bernice, Cloris Leachman, doesn't have the slightest clue about the affair. His mistress, Kathy, Ann Jackson, has long demanded that he leave Bernice, but he has always gotten around her demands with fast talking and expert manipulation.
Kathy? Are you in there?
No, go away.
Let me in, Kathy. I want to talk to you.
There's nothing to say, nothing. It's all nothing. Goodbye, Hal.
Bye, Kathy.
I love you so much in my whole life. I couldn't live without you.
Oh, I couldn't live without you. I loved you, Kathy. You didn't mean what you just said.
There's nothing to say, nothing. It's all nothing. 10 years of nothing. I don't want it anymore.
Kathy, I promise you, as soon as Susan gets married, I'll ask Bernice for a divorce.
You promised that last year or the year before.
This time it'll be different.
As soon as Wilma has another baby.
Please, Kathy.
As soon as Susan gets married, well, she's getting married, Hal. She's getting married, and where's mine?
Kathy.
Where is mine, Hal?
Kathy, this could be dangerous. Bernice might hear us.
I don't care anymore. I never want to see you again.
Kathy, if you let 10 years of love end in a bathroom, I'll lose all respect for myself. How could you call this sordid? Kathy. Kathy, you can't help who you love and who you don't love. Now, I love you, and I want you to be happy. And I don't love Bernice, but I want her to be happy. And I do love my children, and I want them to be happy. But I don't want my wanting Bernice to be happy to take away from my love for you. But my wanting my children to be happy while not taking away my love for you will make Bernice happy, and therefore make the children happy. I want everyone to be happy. Everyone. You know, that could be my biggest fault.
I want everyone to be happy, too, Hal.
Bernice is really a wonderful girl. That's why it's hell for me. She's so boring.
I know.
All she's interested in is making a home for me and the kids. The PTA and Bloomingdale's, the A&P, and the Girl Scouts.
Well, I want that, too, Hal.
Oh, but you're such a vital person.
I am. Oh, Hal. Oh, Hal. Why don't you tell Bernice?
Because I don't want to hurt her.
Do you want to hurt me, Hal?
Of course not.
Well, somebody has to get hurt. In a situation like this, somebody has to get hurt, Hal.
Do you want Bernice to get hurt?
No, Hal, I don't want to hurt Bernice.
Do you want my children to get hurt?
Oh, hell no, no, I don't want to. Oh.
Then who should get hurt? Me?
I feel nauseous, Hal.
Oh, Kathy, don't get sick on me, please. Please, Kathy, don't get sick.
I can't help it, Hal.
Kathy, please, Kathy. I'll tell Bernice. I'll tell her Saturday night, right after the wedding.
So what happened? You had something on the side and she found out about it?
No, Poppers.
Come on, you can tell me. Look, I never told you this before, but I strayed too when I was young. Now, don't get me wrong, I never went looking for it, but you know, sometimes you're walking along and it falls in your lap.
Look, Pop, that's not the reason.
Look, it happens to everybody. I mean, I love your mother, but you know, sometimes you need a little stimulation, you know? All right, thank God she never felt that way. Hey. But there was this one time that your mother found out about it. Yeah, her stupid sister Pauline opened up a big mouth and told her. She walked out on me for 4 days. But she came back. And where was she gonna go?
So what happened, Jeff? Some girl vamped him.
No.
Look, Joan, you can tell me, because all men stray, even Frank. Look, it's a mortal sin, but it happens. I left him for a few days, but I came back. Where was I gonna go?
Kathy, you mean a lot to me. But let me tell you something about myself. Sure, I could go to Bernice and tell her about us, and maybe she would forgive you, even though she'd certainly never speak to me again. But that's not important. What is important, you have every right to want something more than what I've been giving you, just as Bernice has every right. But here it is in a nutshell. I'm the kind of man who, when confronted with the fact that I've been married to the same woman for 30 years, who's given me 2 wonderful children, it becomes progressively more difficult for me to know that I've given her any more unhappiness than I've already given her. What I'm trying to say is
That you'll never leave Bernice, that we'll never see each other, or have each other, or hold each other in our arms again.
not necessarily.
Well, what are you trying to say, Hal? Are you going to tell Bernice about us or not?
Kathy, it's not that simple. You see, Kathy, you, Bernice, and I are 3 of us in a boat. Now, it's my boat, and it's your lake, but Bernice has the oars.
Phil has asked me to marry him, Hal.
Phil has asked you to marry him? Have you been fooling around with Phil?
No, I could never fool around with Phil, not when I'm in love with you.
Well, you must have done something for him to ask you to marry him. Did he kiss you?
Yes, I kissed him.
Did he touch your breast?
Hal, I
Did
don't...
he touch your breast?
Yes. Yes, Hal, but I...
Why, Kathy? Why?
Didn't you tell me to go out with other men?
Yes, but I didn't.
Well, he wouldn't go out with me anymore if I didn't at least let him do something.
Oh, life stinks. Oh. Nobody can ever be happy. You're not happy. Bernice is not happy.
I think I can make Phil happy.
Screw Phil!
Oh, Hal, you don't mean that.
No, I don't mean that. It's just that every time I think I've everything worked out, something complicates things. Now there's Phil's happiness to worry about. All right, what did you tell him?
Well, I told him that I have to think about it.
What do you mean, think about it? There's nothing to think about. You can't marry Phil.
Why not?
Because I have too much pride to go sneaking around corners with a married woman, that's why.
What have I been doing?
That's different. I was married before I met you.
But I have nothing. Hal, I can't go on like this. There's no end. If you don't tell Bernice about us right after the wedding... I'm going to marry Phil.
I see. Now you're going to force me to make the decision for you. Kathy, you have to make your own decision. Just like Bernice has to make her own decision and Phil has to make his own decision.
Well, what about you, Hal? Don't you have to make a decision?
I have made my decision.
What have you decided?
I have decided to try to find a new way to help Bernice to find the strength to leave me, yet giving you the option to end it all by marrying Phil. If Bernice is not aware enough to make the move that's right for her, and if you can't call on your resources to resist me, then responsibility rests not with me, not with you, Kathy, not with Bernice, but with Phil.
I thought you weren't coming.
I said I would, didn't I? Just don't rely on your woman's intuition. It's never correct.
Well, I thought you might be a little angry.
How could I be angry looking at you? I just don't like ultimatums, that's all.
I don't like being a secret mistress. It's not my style.
I know that. You told me.
Do we have to go into the same arguments again? It's very simple. I have to be open and free.
So do I, love.
Alex, I want something better than this. So do you. You look a little funny.
Well, it's a marvelous choice you've given me, to divorce my wife or you'll make a scandal out of our love affair.
Alexander, I'm right, and you know it.
I know that. You told me that.
Darling, I know you. I know you're not really afraid of hurting Janice. You're just reluctant to lose her mother's backing. And all that money. Don't worry. You're a genius.
Yes.
You'll always have everything. You're just a little weak, deep inside, and all you really need is me. And I need you, because I'm the same. See? And that's why I had to make you decide.
Voulez danser, mademoiselle?
Oh, oui, monsieur.
In The Shameless, 1974, a married middle-aged writer, Fabio Lorenzi, Philippe Leroy, has an affair with a teenage girl, Ornella Bernardi, Leonora Fani, while vacationing at an island resort. The young woman falls in love with him and demands his constant attention.
Ti ho visto, sai, quel giorno che sono andata a fare il bagno con Adriano, il portiere. Stavi qua alla finestra e mi guardavi con questo.
Ma smettila di dire solo stupidaggini.
Ti piace farti accarezzare? Dicono che io accarezzo molto bene.
Guarda che questi giochetti non mi fanno nessun effetto.
Non sei mica gentile, scusa. Io ti vengo a trovare e tu mi tratti così.
Ma puoi andartene, sai? Pronto?
Ciao, sono Clara.
Ah, dimmi.
Dormivi? Ti disturbo?
No, stavo scrivendo, non mi disturbi.
Senti, cosa fai? Vieni giù a cena oppure no?
No, resto in camera.
Nino voleva sapere se andavi con lui a vedere un terreno.
Sì, ho capito, ma digli che io non me ne intendo, eh?
Noi andiamo allora.
Va bene.
Eventually, she demands that he leave his wife for her.
Tutte le porcherie che ci sono lassù. Quelle di mio padre, di mia madre e di Giusy. E di quel vecchiaccio sporco e di tutti. Solo io devo essere pura. Solo io ho il dovere di non essere una svergognata. Come dice Claretta, la mia cara mammina. Il tuo dolce tesoro. Mio dolce tesoro. Mio dolce tesoro. Non credere che non lo sappia, sai? Io so tutto. La chiamavi così quando ti chiudevi di notte nella sua camera, vicino alla mia. Sai quanto mi ha perseguitato questo mio dolce tesoro, mio dolce tesoro, mio dolce tesoro. Io so tutto di voi, dei vostri intrighi, dei vostri tradimenti, della vostra sporcizia.
Smetti, Ornella!
Odio. Ti amo.
Duck in Orange Sauce, 1975, derides the idea of an open marriage. Lisa, Monica Vitti, is startled to learn that her husband, Livio, Ugo Tognazzi, is having an affair. Hurt and resentful, she sets off to have an affair of her own. Inevitably, the extramarital dalliances put a strain on the marriage. Lisa confronts Livio to suggest that they be open about their infidelities. She proposes that they have their lovers join them for a fun weekend at their summer house. The weekend is plagued by mishap, which makes it anything but fun.
Geloso io.
No, eh?
Rituzza col francese, in flagrante vicolzi.
Apparenze sono.
Morire tutte e due dovete.
Non mi sparare.
Tu, schifosissimo. E tu, buttare.
Affettuosa. Amicizia. Fu.
Beh, devo dire che tuo marito è straordinariamente gentile, sai?
È una serpe.
Serpe? Ah, beh, io certo non lo conosco bene come te, ma...
Ma tu hai visto che mi hai portato?
Se vogliamo un po' volgare, ma è carina.
Non lo so, non l'ho guardata.
Oh, insomma, sono di quei tipi che noi diciamo charmante.
Charmante.
Oui.
Ma quella è charmante.
Sì.
Ma come? Ha gli occhi a civetta, il naso a trombetta, il culo a chitarra, il coscio a mandolino. Mi pare il quartetto cedra.
Lisa screams and moans to make Livio believe that she is having amazing sex with her lover. Livio and his lover scream as loud as they can to outdo her.
Siamo in Italia, no? No! No! Ti prego. Oh, ma Alessandro! Oh, ma sei tremendo, Jean-Claude! Veramente insaziabile! No!
Ancora di più, sì.
non te lo ricordo,
Sì,
mi
dai.
piace.
Sì, anche a
Oh, ah, ça oui! Oh, ça c'est formidable! Oh!
Dio, che...
Ah, com'è bello!
Ma che bello!
È più bello qui!
È bellissimo, Dio! Dio, Dio, Dio! Dio, che bello, Dio! Ah! Ah! Ah!
Why? Why were you cleaning your pistol?
I was going to fight a duel to defend your honor. A Turkish cavalry officer cast aspersions on it. He said you were sleeping around. I knew he was lying, that you were pure.
I do a prison date.
To detain without charge. It's believed that even some government members may vote against this clause. The Prime Minister will make a major statement on all channels as soon as the vote has been taken, and it's believed he will then disclose the outcome of his talks with Arab leaders. In official figures released today, prices showed a massive 2% increase over the previous quarter, while gas and electricity charges have increased 400%, and clothing prices 280% over the same period.
Papa Dad!
Listen, I haven't bloody left yet, so shift that heap. Hang on a minute. Look, I just want to talk to you. Smith, please, for God's sake. What do you think you're doing, you bloody idiot? Hey! For Christ's sake!
British television writer Carla Lane ruined her 34-year marriage with an affair. She channeled the experience into a sitcom called Butterflies.
I've missed you.
I want to hold you.
Carla drew on the experience of her own extramarital affair to bring this storyline to life.
I identify more with Ria. Definitely.
That's the Wendy Craig character.
Yes, because I've done her story. I mean, I've lived that story.
So radical was the notion of female adultery in sitcom in the 1970s that it didn't initially appeal to BBC's head of comedy, John Howard Davies.
Carla told me that they really were very unsure about doing it at all because it was about, well, the thought of infidelity, really. And they didn't think that was suitable material for comedy.
Can't have a married lady being in love with someone else. I thought, she doesn't sleep with him, if that's what you're worried about. No, but he said she wants to, doesn't she? She said, well, of course. I said, that's the fun of it. Sorry, darling. Write me something else. So, of course, I went home and I sat down and I thought, I'm going to write this. I don't care what he says. So I wrote the first script and I sent it to him. And the very next day, a motorbike arrives outside my house and a little note. Who am I to argue with a butterfly? 6 more, please.
I mean, they did put it out on BBC Two because they thought that was a bit more discreet, I think.
And each on-screen meeting had viewers on the edge of their seats, asking, will they?
Thanks.
Or won't they?
I keep cropping up, don't I?
Yes, you do. It was a kind of dream come true, that she was actually being chased by this handsome, rich businessman, and he desired her. That was so thrilling.
Are you flirting with me?
Outrageously.
She physically didn't do anything, but mentally she did. And we'd call that now. We'd call that an affair now.
I'm happily married, but I'm not excitingly married. Do you know what I mean?
They never actually slept together, did they? They never got it together, but it was that kind of preamble, the kind of getting together and sharing, and it was just the fact that he could give her something that was massively lacking in her own relationship. But I like the fact that they didn't really get together.
Not that it didn't get close, though.
Come back to the hotel.
I got beautiful letters from women, mostly. Several people said, "You must know me personally because you're actually acting my life at the moment." Things like that. The reaction was warm, but not so much from men. I think men were a little bit alarmed by it.
Lane spent the rest of her career writing about her infidelity. Marital infidelity was at the center of every sitcom that she wrote in the coming years. This includes Solo, The Mistress, Bread, and Love. Lane admitted to having great guilt about the affair. Maybe this was a futile attempt to exorcise her guilt. Butterflies ended the adultery taboo in British sitcoms. For the next 15 years, adultery stories were featured in many British sitcoms, including Goodnight, Sweetheart, You Rang, My Lord, Allo Allo, and Ain't Misbehavin'. It wouldn't be hard to make the argument that the theme became overused.
$64,000 question, where's your wife? This instant. Even as we speak. Where is she?
Melissa?
Right. Melissa. Where's little Melissa? Practicing her butter wouldn't melt last of the Virgin Brides expression?
There's no call to be offensive. My wife will be at home at the house.
Wrong.
Well, very well. If she's not at the house, she'll have popped out to her sister's.
Not even warm.
Why do you want to know who my wife is?
Oh, I know where she is.
Then why are you asking all these questions?
Because I think the time has come for you to know where she is.
Very well, then. Tell me.
You'd better have a drink. I mean, a strong drink.
No, thank you. I don't need a drink.
You sure?
Not at midday, thank you.
Please yourself.
Why are you making such a mystery of all this?
There's no mystery, kiddo. I've solved it. I know where your wife is. Brace yourself.
I have no need to brace myself. I trust my wife implicitly.
Well, that's good, because you're going to need all the trust you got when you find out where she is. Right now, at this very moment, she is in bed with my husband. She treats you like a retarded relative.
It's you that's retarded if you think for a moment that Melissa would be unfaithful to me.
You think so? Well, that is where they are right now. She's in room 3, busy as hell not being unfaithful to you. Again?
You ever hear from Belinda these days?
No, not a word. Not since that fearful row about the alimony. She still hasn't paid any. Do you hear from her?
No. I think she'd have been faithful to one of us.
Quiet.
Right, madam, she was. Beats me why you married her.
Yeah, nothing but trouble. Beats me why you took her away for dirty weekends.
Well, I got the impression you weren't all that bothered.
Well, there've been other men before you. Just that I could not understand her preferring somebody so common.
Well, she was partial to a bit of rough. Well, I don't know. I really thought we had something going. But all the time, she was seeing this other fella behind our backs.
Yes, that Stavros Papadopoulos, you know. Made his fortune polluting beaches. I tell you, I saw him once during the divorce. He dropped his wallet and suffered a crushed foot. He dropped his wallet.
She was fond of money, was Belinda.
Oh, yes, yes. Rustle a couple of fivers together and she say they're playing our tune.
I reckon that was pretty sneaky of you, you know. Letting me muck around with your wife and not warning me what she was like.
Thank you. Looking at the sea. You know, Linda says that if...
That's 5, David.
5. What?
5 times you've mentioned that woman's name.
That woman? Do you mean Linda?
6. I should like to point out that it's not very flattering. This is supposed to be our second honeymoon. There was even light-hearted talk of carrying me across the threshold.
Oh, what, with my knee?
It didn't seem to worry you much when you were doing the Paso Doble.
Now, it clicked a couple of times, Amy.
More than I have.
You what?
How do you think I felt coming down to find that woman hanging round your neck like a vampire?
Well, I was simply being friendly. I mean, after all, we English should stick together.
How close do you intend to stick, David?
Now, Amy, must you be so jealous?
Oh, who said I was jealous? I'm not jealous, not of a vampire. I've never been jealous in my life.
Well, that's all right, then.
Right, what's this number on your cigarette packet? David, you're absolutely right. I shouldn't have said those things about your knee. It's a lovely knee. Probably last you for years yet. I just wanted us to be together, that's all. And I won't be jealous ever again, I promise. Here's to us, David.
Cheers.
Whose is this glass?
You what?
I know you were going to get drunk, but you don't need 2 glasses,
well,
David.
David, have you got my drink? Oh.
Linda, is this yours?
Oh, that's all right. I'll get another from the bar.
What were you two doing out here?
It was just very warm in there. We just wanted to cool off.
What a good idea. Why don't you do that, David?
Hello? Oh, just a moment, please. It's your wife. Oh, hello, Mrs. Rook. It's Erica here. No, I'm afraid Mr. Rook's just had to pop out for a moment. How's Manchester? Fog, But, so you didn't go after all? And you're downstairs? Oh, good. No, I shouldn't bother coming up, Mrs. Rook. Why don't I pop down? Well, if you insist. Oh, he's just walked into the room. I'll pass you over to him.